Hello, you're tuning into Nightline with me, Raymond Goh. The headlines. Schools in Pasir Gudang to remain open despite new cases. And US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un agree to restart talks in historic meeting. Good morning. All 111 primary and secondary schools in Pasir Gudang, Johor will remain open despite several students experiencing breathing difficulties and nausea on Sunday morning. State Health, Culture and Heritage Committee Chairman Muhammad Khuzan Abu Bakar said that classes would continue as air quality readings were normal.
Tidak, hari ini sekolah tak tutup. Sekolah seperti biasa. Walaupun saya tahu ada di viral di dalam WhatsApp group dan sebagainya mengatakan hari ini sekolah tutup. Tidak, sekolah seperti biasa.
Cuma dinasihatkan kepada cikgu sekolah
ya, yes. Ya, kalau ada simptom-simptom, cikgu akan hantar ke klinik kesihatan.
Khuzan said agencies like the Pasir Gudang Emergency Mutual Aid and the Department of Environment would continue to monitor the air around Pasir Gudang. In the meantime, Khuzan also revealed that some 30 students and teachers were referred to 2 local health clinics in Pasir Gudang. They were among 130 others who experienced dizziness, nausea and vomiting following the third wave of toxic gas pollution in the area. Khuzan said, however, none of the affected people were referred to the hospital.
Anggaran lebih kurang total semua dalam 130 lah. Tetapi yang dirujuk je ke klinik kesihatan, bukan hospital. Dirujuk ke klinik kesihatan ialah cuma 30 orang saja. Ada guru seorang, demam. Ada guru dua guru. Tiga guru. Yes, 3 guru.
The chaotic situation began just hours after schools in Pasir Gudang reopened after being closed since last Tuesday due to respiratory problems. At least 3 ambulances from the Civil Defence Force and Sultan Ismail Hospital were seen rushing to the affected schools after several students and teachers fainted. Some parents were also seen taking their children back home.
Sekarang dia pening. Lepas tu badan dia lemah. Dia cikgu inform puan? Dia call saya tadi, dia cakap kena ambil anak sebab dia lemah. Cikgu cakap dia pening, badan dia lemah. Dia sarankan untuk bawa pergi klinik. Dia bagi surat.
Some of the affected schools include SK Kopok, SMK Tanjung Putri Resort, SMK Sri Alam 2, SK Taman Pasir Putih, SK Jenis Kebangsaan Tamil Ladang Sungai Plentong, SMK Taman Nusa Damai, and SK Taman Cendana. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail has urged for a long-term plan designed to ensure a comprehensive solution to the air pollution issue in Pasir Gudang, Johor. She said the long-term plan was important to avoid a recurrence which would adversely affect the health of the locals.
It is not easy because semua kelang-kelangan dalam persekitaran housing. So you have to think of a long-term plan. But short-term plan is that to have the detection, to remove them from that place. And long-term plan is how to penempatan semula.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah said the government might have to think of ways to resettle the residents with the consent of the Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar. She said the factor of economic output by the manufacturing industry in the area should also be considered when drawing up the long-term plan. Sultan Ibrahim has expressed his displeasure over the chemical dumping and air pollution incidents which hit Pasir Gudang this year and has ordered the authorities to take quick action to overcome the problems, including arresting and punishing the culprits. A motion to compel all members of Parliament MPs to declare their income and assets to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, will be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat on Monday. Deputy Speaker Ngah Kor Meng said the motion was part of reforms in the government's fight against corruption. Nga, in a statement on Sunday, said that the motion will be tabled by Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Liu Vui Kiong. He said the government had encouraged all MPs to declare their income and assets, but opposition members were not receptive to the idea. Nga pointed out that the government waited for a year, but no opposition members, whether from UMNO, MCA, MIC or PAS, have declared their income and assets. Nga, who is also the Teluk Intan MP, questioned that if Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad had declared, why other MPs were not able to do so. According to MACC's Asset Declaration Portal, 124 or 89.2% of the government's MPs have declared their assets. According to Nga, if the motion was approved, legal action can be taken against any MP who failed to declare his or her assets. He said with this move, the government can improve the country's standing in the Corruption Perception Index, CPI. Nga also hoped that the compulsory declaration of assets can be extended to members of the Dewan Negara. The Finance Ministry has extended by 6 months stamp duty exemption for first-time purchasers until December 31st this year. Its Minister Lim Guan Eng, in a statement on Sunday, said his ministry has accepted an appeal by the Housing and Local Government Ministry to do so, as this is expected to help clear the number of unsold houses. Following this announcement, the home ownership campaign has also been extended until December 31st this year. The stamp duty exemption was part of incentives contained under the campaign, announced in the 2019 budget, and became effective for the period January 1st until June 30th this year. Stamp duty exemption of 100% was limited to the first 1 million ringgit of the house value, with remaining value subject to a 3% rate. Under the home ownership campaign, housing developers offer at least 10% discounts on purchase prices. Lim said according to a report from the National Property Information Centre, the number of unsold residential properties in Malaysia had risen to 32,313 units, valued at 19.86 billion ringgit in the fourth quarter of 2018. Employers should play their role to address issues on married couples having to stay apart due to work commitments. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the employers could, among others, provide flexible working hours for married employees staying apart from their spouses, hence giving them more time to be with their families. Speaking to the media after closing the Social Welfare Department's Junior Khalifah program in Bangi, Selangor on Sunday, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah said this could be done, for example, by allowing the employee to work extra hours every day and to give leave or day off after fulfilling the minimum weekly working hours.
Supaya mereka katalah kerja dekat dalam seminggu tu dipanjangkan tiap-tiap hari, dan masa untuk kurang tu macam dekat pejabat kerajaan, you have to wait 48 hours for 1 week kan. Kalau dikumpulkan, you've done that, therefore you can take time off lah. So get more flexible hours to balik kepada keluarga.
She was commenting on a newspaper report on Saturday, which stated that more than 500,000 married couples in the country are staying apart or away from their spouses due to work commitments. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also Women, Family and Community Development Minister, added that it is the government's intention to address the problem where implementation would depend on the wisdom of employers. She said married couples who stay apart, with some becoming annual wife or husband, is not good for the marriage. At the same event, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah urged parents and people directly involved with children to fully utilize the Child Sexual Offenders Registry, or EDKK. She said it is absolutely necessary, especially for those working directly with children. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah said the registry was introduced to enable parents, individuals and employers intending to hire carers to check on the background of their potential employees. This is to ensure the persons applying do not have a record for sexual offences against children, and the service is provided for free.
Sehingga Jun 2019, Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat telah menerima 68 permohonan daripada individu dan pelbagai agensi yang melibatkan semakan dibuat terhadap 1,254 orang kaki tangan dan bakal pekerja. Saya menyeru agar semua pihak yang berkaitan untuk menggunakan sistem ini.
Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also Women, Family and Community Development Minister, also announced that a pilot intervention program to address social problems among children will be implemented in August in Sepang, Seremban and Port Dickson. If it is successful, the program will be extended nationwide. Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi on Sunday announced that he will resume the leadership of UMNO. The announcement ends his 6 months leave as the UMNO president.
Oleh kerana hari ini genap setahun saya dipilih, bukan dilantik oleh perwakilan UMNO seluruh negara dari 191 bahagian, maka genap setahun ini cukup signifikan dan cukup penting kepada saya. Oleh kerana demikian, 30 hari bulan Jun 2019, saya ingin mengumumkan bahawa saya menamatkan cuti sebagai Presiden UMNO mulai hari ini. Ini berarti bahawa mulai hari ini saya akan terus menyambung tugas saya sebagai Presiden UMNO Malaysia.
He made the announcement at a Hari Raya function in Sungai Sumun, Perak, which is in his Bagan Datuk constituency. UMNO Deputy President Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan took over the reins at UMNO when Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid, who is facing a total of 87 corruption charges, went on garden leave on December 18th last year.
Catch the auto segment every Friday on Nightline. Woo! Wow!
Still to come on Nightline, man found dead inside car that plunged into river. Welcome back. A 30-year-old man was found dead after the car he was driving was believed to have skidded and plunged into Sungai Santap in Pokok Sena, Kedah, Saturday night. According to Operations Commander Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department, Kedah, Senior Assistant Fire Superintendent Salihuddin Darawi, authorities received a call that a car had plunged into the river at 11:08 p.m. and arrived at the scene 7 minutes later. After a 2-hour search in the dark, they found the car at a depth of 3 meters under murky waters. The car was finally extracted with the help of a crane, with the driver found still inside the driver's seat. Authorities managed to remove the man's body through the rear passenger door at 2:46 a.m. before handing it over to the police for further action. Over in Malacca, a man died after the trailer he was driving crashed along the Plas North-South Highway near the toll plaza at Simpang Ampat Alo Gajah. The victim was trapped for more than 2 hours in his seat before rescue workers freed his body. 39-year-old Roha Zurihan Hamza alias Hashim was carrying a shipment of wood from Gemas Negeri Sembilan heading to Kuala Lumpur, where the accident happened at 8 a.m. on Sunday. Authorities said when the trailer arrived at the exit from the toll plaza, it lost control and crashed into the road divider on the right side of the road and then overturned. The accident is being investigated for causing death by dangerous driving. In Pahang, a horrific accident between 2 cars on Saturday night has claimed the lives of 2 men and a baby on Jalan Kuantan, Johor Bahru in Rompin. The dead were identified as the drivers of both cars, a 57-year-old police officer, Sergeant Zainuddin Bakar, and Bayam Ija, aged 53. At around 9:30 p.m., a Hyundai Accent driven by Zainuddin from Kuantan heading to Mersing, Johor, crashed into the opposite lane and hit the Proton Iswara driven by Bayam. In the car with Zainuddin was his wife and daughter, who suffered head injuries, while his 7-year-old stepson was unhurt. The sergeant's 1-year-old grandson, however, died at the emergency room in Rompin Hospital. 2 passengers in the Proton car also suffered head and leg injuries. The accident is being investigated under the Road Transport Act for causing death by reckless driving. The brand new attraction at Legoland Malaysia Resort in Nusa Jaya, Sea Life Malaysia, has officially opened to the public. The interactive aquarium with Lego elements is expected to help boost tourist arrivals in the state, especially during Visit Malaysia 2020 and Visit Johor 2020.
The main highlights of Sea Life Malaysia are the 13,000 marine life from 120 species, including sharks, seahorses and stingrays. The 2-story aquarium is located next to the Legoland theme park.
Sea Life dia memaparkan konsep pembelajaran dalam cara yang sungguh I would say in a fun learning environment. And hari ini kita secara official kita buka Sea Life. Jadi kita akan menyumbang kepada sebagai ikon pelancongan yang utama di Malaysia dan di Johor.
The aquarium has 11 zones, each featuring different habitats for its sea life, where visitors can touch and view the sea creatures up close.
Hari ini kita orang datang bawa anak-anak, bawa diorang tengok ikan, belajar jenis-jenis ikan, luangkan masa lah dengan diorang. Sebab diorang pun cuti kan, macam mana nak. Tu bawa diorang jalan-jalan dah.
Saya datang bersama anak-anak tengok Sea Life. Sebetulnya kita orang dah memang annual pass. So maknanya tapi berkesempatan bawa hari inilah nak tengok, so tak payah pergi jauh-jauh lah.
The aquarium's opening ceremony was officiated by Johor Tourism, Women, Family and Community Development Committee Chairman Liao Chai Tung. Also present at the event was the General Manager of Legoland Malaysia Resort, Kurt Stocks.
Coming up, deadly fire breaks out in Dubai Tower. Stay tuned. On to the foreign front now. Donald Trump has become the first sitting U.S. president to set foot in North Korea after meeting Kim Jong-un in the area dividing the two Koreas. The encounter at the heavily fortified Korean demilitarized zone, their third in person, came a day after Trump raised the prospect of a border handshake in a tweet and declared he'd have no problem stepping into North Korea. Trump, escorted by Kim, briefly crossed the military demarcation line into the north side of the joint security area patrolled by soldiers from both Koreas. The encounter had initially been described as a brief greeting, but Trump and Kim ended up talking for almost an hour in a building known as the Freedom House on the South Korean side. For a brief moment, Trump and Kim were also joined by South Korea's President Moon Jae-in, an unprecedented three-way gathering. Trump also announced that both countries have agreed to set up teams to resume their stalled nuclear talks.
They're staying on. I mean, at some point, look, I'm looking forward to taking them off. I don't like sanctions being on this country. I'm looking forward, but the sanctions remain, yes. But at some point during the negotiation, things can happen. And that's what we'll be talking about, sanctions, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. 우리 박사와 사이 존재하는 그런 훌륭한 관계가 아니라면 아마 이 하루 만에 이런 상봉이 전격적으로 이루어지지 못했을 거라고 생각합니다. 그래서 난 앞으로 앞으로 이런 훌륭한 관계가 남들이 예상 못하는 그런 계속 좋은 일들을 계속 만들면서 우리가 앞으로 해야 될 일들에 그 맞닿드는 그런 난관과 장애를 견인하는 극복하는 그런 신비로운 그런 힘으로 될 거라고 확신하고 있습니다.
In the United Arab Emirates, a firefighter died while tackling a blaze that broke out in a tower located in the Dubai's Business Bay. According to authorities, Tariq Abdullah Ali Al-Hawai died from injuries sustained when he plunged 4 floors in the partially built tower. No other injuries have been reported. The fire broke out at 10:40 a.m. on Saturday in the lower level parking floors and spread quickly. It also sent smoke billowing across the skyline. It was not immediately clear what caused the fire. FA Cup. Kedah are through to the final on away goal rules after suffering a 2-3 defeat to Felda United in the second leg of their semi-final clash on Sunday night. Kedah, who entered the game with a 1-goal lead from the first leg, found the net after 26 minutes through Fernando Rodriguez, before Farhan Roslan doubled the advantage 9 minutes later. Felda staged a comeback in the second half with 2 goals in a space of just 7 minutes. Thiago Jr. made it 2-1 in the 65th and S. Chanturu drew level for the hosts in the 72nd minute. Hadin Azman scored Felda's third in the dying minutes, but it was too late to prevent Kedah from sealing a spot in the final. "900 participants, including 500 children in France, participated in an annual sporting event. It's called tire racing, where various types of tires, including scooters, trucks and backhoe tires, were used in the popular celebration. We leave you now with the visuals of this thrilling event as we wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Raymond Goh. Thanks for watching and take care.